Clickers. As you're aware, we have the garden tote on the website, and I've had a lot of questions about the mechanics, so I thought I'd do a quick tutorial. The mechanic itself is waterproof, so the tote and the paper are both waterproof. So we're going to start with those. I took the paper, we put it in an angle, just slightly off, so we don't want it perfect, and then we put that in the tote. You can see this is what gives us the look that it's so much larger, is because the corners are out. Now, the question is really about the mechanic. How do we design in that tote? I've had some of you tell me that you're just using a block of foam in there, which is great, as I mentioned, because it is waterproof. But the question is there another way? And when I designed the tote originally, I used a liner, just a plain 4-inch plant liner. You could use a liner that goes to another container that you don't have. You know, Teleflora FTD always has the liners in with their containers. I used to have a pile of them at the store. Could use something like that. Could go to the Dollar Tree and pick up a container that would be $1.25. So there's several different ones if you'd rather be designing in a container itself. So make your selection, and whether you do just water or you use floral foam. If I would do floral foam, I would tend to use a liner with foam or a small block of foam. 1/3 of a block should be all you would need in a container, even this size, because we have to keep in mind the cost. The more foam, the more cost. So all of those little things will make a difference. I'm going to start actually with this container because you can see it as I'm using that, pouring my water in and putting it inside the paper. Now, the recipe says seasonal flowers. So if you read the details, it's going to tell you that it's seasonal flowers. You and I both know that the customer is going to expect that the focal flower is what they're going to see, right? That's what they're going to get. If they see the one with the lavender roses or the peach color roses or the free spirit, my suggestion is keep your focal flower the same, because the rest is pretty much random as long as it goes together. So keep that in mind when you're making the design. Here, my focal flower was the peach rose. So I'm going to start with that, knowing that I'm going to be using that. But I typically start with foliage, so that's what we're going to start with, our foliage, to give us our outline. All right, and then the limonium, because that's going to help us keep everything in place. So whatever filler you're using or accent flower, keep in mind that does help keep the flowers in place, because we're using very minimal amount of product. This, using a container in here, gives me that binding point, right? A common area to put all of those stems together. Okay, that gives me a good start on the outline that we have. And now my next insertion should be that focal flower, because we can build around that. You can see there we have the beauty right there in the center, which is what we see as the focal in the design on the website. I have one snapdragon, so we're going to use the one snapdragon. Again, seasonal flowers, what you have. This is a great way to use up some product that you have in the cooler, one of this, one of that. There's no reason, because you're going to have that beautiful design. Also, carnations. Didn't have any miniature carnations, so this one I'm using carnations. And then I have some button mums. Button mums are beautiful to fill it out. They're really full and nice, so we're gonna incorporate those. It gives us that look, that gives it a full look, and that's exactly what we need. now that we have that, we always want to keep in mind that we're going to deliver this by the handle. Your driver will be handling it like this. So that's what you want to be careful of, is that your center of gravity is there. It's easy to design. Nothing's higher than the handle, and it keeps it in here. Now I look over here, and my little Snapdragon looks like he's over here all by himself, which he pretty much is. I need to put something in between that gap, which that aluminum will do that nicely. And then our last flower that I've priced out that can go in here is this dancing delphinium. That spray delphinium, which is so gorgeous. So I'm going to separate that and put this into our design. One more stem. You can see that probably needs to go towards the front. Okay, so we need to look one more time before we send it out the door, but we look here and say we can move things just a bit. It needs to be something towards the center to make sure that it looks very similar to what the customer is going to want. So I have my focal the same. The flowers are expanding out, so it looks like it's overflowing with flowers. It's easy to deliver. So you can see it's a quick and easy design to offer for your customers for the holidays.